Welcome, everybody. My name is Scott. My pronouns are he, him, and you are on ZealZaddy. Tonight we're playing Old Gods of Appalachia, and this particular episode is titled Transformations, which means nothing to anyone. Nobody has to pay attention to the titles. They don't mean nothing. They're just interesting sounding words that may or may not be related to things going on in my head. You can follow us everywhere at ZealZaddy or at ZealZaddy RPG on TikTok. You can use the clip command, one of our favorite commands around here, !clip, and it'll save the last 30 seconds of what's been happening on screen. The music is by OBP Musical, and that the singer was Melody McClellan, and the composer was Nico Rhodes. Old Gods is a horror campaign that may contain material not suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
And back down the midnight green, searching the dark side of the mountain. Through my bones and hair and blood, words rise and cold snatched from my mouth to sink them into the cold black mud.
All right. Well, we're going to start, of course, with the welcoming back of Father Bartimaeus. Okay, I got one. I got to write one of two.
You did get it right the time. Hello, everybody. My name is TR Grimm. You can find me at most places at empathic_Grimm. I am a game designer and game reviewer. Please do keep an eye out on my itch page, again, empathic_Grimm, for an ash can of my new solo TTRPG, By the Hero's Side. It is a fun little dice and deck card, deck of standard playing card solo journaling game. Should be hitting by the end of the month. I did just get back from my honeymoon. It might just be a week or two late, trying to make sure that it still hits by the end of the month. Here I am playing Father Bartimaeus, who is a priest that has been nursing the god of all hangovers for quite a while now. And I'm looking forward to getting him out of that poor.
All right. Walter.
Evening, y'all. My name is Robby Weiss. I'm a one-time podcaster and all-time game player, if that's a thing. I love playing all kinds of TTRPGs, and playing with these wonderful folks has been a treat. Super excited to be playing Old Gods here at ZealZaddy and playing the part of Walt Gwynnon, owner and proprietor of Gwynnon Meadery. Also a perceptive beekeeper who masters the swarm. Are you buzzing with excitement? I sure am.
Well, one that was definitely buzzing with excitement was the bear that is Benny. You want to go ahead, Benny?
My voice just did not want to work there. Hey, y'all. I'm Nekola, aka Nekola the Druid, on all the social places. You can find me a couple places, but most of the time you can find me as the Director of Programming for Diversity Saves, a 501c3 nonprofit that creates a platform for marginalized content creators in the TTRPG space, as well as through the generous donations that we receive, provide grants for those creators. You can check us out at diversitysaves.org. Tonight, I am the hardy explorer who becomes the beast, little old Benny herself. Tired Benny. Very tired Benny.
Yeah. All right, Professor Irwin.
Hello, everybody. I'm Brandon Hall. I'm a forever GM. Very excited and loving playing in Old Gods of Appalachia here with ZealZaddy. I'm frequently seen at a bunch of conventions, Gen Con, Gamehole Con, and PAX Unplugged, usually at Monte Cook Games, helping out. So if you do come to any of those, do reach out and find me. I'm playing Erwin Hayes, the shifty speaker who speaks in tongues.
All right. And then Tegan.
Hey y'all, I am played by Kayla. You may know me as just K, a variation depending on where you find me on the interwebs. You can find all of my social media from that linked tree link that just got dropped. I post random happenstance that may or may not be scary to players from my brain into my own newsletter, but you may also know me as the general manager of Underground Oracle Publishing, where I help do things like give you a dinosaur post-apocalyptic short in Cypher to play, where you can try and survive whatever your flavor of dinosaurs dying is, meteors, volcano, whatever, and survive as long as you can afterwards. Follow me on any of those things. You'll see a ton of fun stuff coming from UO happening here soon. And you should always join our Patreon if you want sneak peeks of our new settings like Wild Space. Yeah, and I'm very hopeful that we don't get too many more creepy battle things before we get to rest.
There are only so many eyeballs I can have in every dark nook and cranny around this place, so you may be safe for a few hours. Well, welcome back, family. The bees are a buzzin', back with their pappy. But a man and a woman from the old country ain't feeling the same. And the public drunkenness is, well, let's just say that in Guilty Hole the week before Prohibition is likely the biggest party the town's ever seen. And perhaps ever will see, because Prohibition will probably last forever, But there's also a bit of trepidation at the prospect of giving up that drink, that's for sure. Everybody's concerned about that, including even our beekeepers around town who sell their mead to TJ Bookers. The church has become involved in the howling from a couple of years ago. It only took them 2 years to arrive in town to fix what's already been done and over, but they are here finally. And everyone that lives here remembers the howling. They all remember that. And let's not forget that the bleeding tree is also a buzz, but with flies. When last we left, there was a bear sitting in the back of a car eating the honey out of Walter Gwynnin's hive. There was a man held down and bound, and there was a woman dead on the side of the road. All of them near Walter Gwynnin's home and brooding space. All right.
Not a fan of these intruders.
Benny the bear is bleeding pretty bad, by the way, and kind of looks dumbfounded by everything but the honey. Maybe they got hit in the head once or twice too many times. Who knows?
I think Tegan's trying to drag off the woman out of the road at least, but I don't know.
Well, it's not really a road. It's actually just a field, bit of grass. It
Just
is
as
winter.
far out of sight as possible.
You didn't see anything.
I think she's realizing that they have a child in their group, even though currently the child is a bear. Try to
protect the child.
Walter, what are we gonna do? We have these people hunting you. They said they won't stop, and one of them's dead and one of them's unconscious.
Scott, we're still outside my abode?
Yeah, but you can be heading back to it if you'd like.
I'd like to be headed toward. I think we were planning on taking these folk one of these folk to Tegan's.
Yeah.
How
Well,
are we?
I've been thinking. Had a little bit of time to mull it over. And I think I've got an idea. Now, I don't believe this man for a lick of a minute on a bee stinged bumblebee. Sure. And
We'll roll with it.
uh, and but there have been these rumors about old my grandfather stealing the bees and bringing them over to America. Now, like I said, I don't believe that for a second. I've been told that they've just been with us this whole time, and that they came willingly, and you know, my grandfather came over here for a better life than over in Wales. But I think I have an idea to really see the truth in it all, and I think it involves asking my grandfather directly.
You just hear from somewhere in the trees, Tegan going, "I'm down."
Yeah, I figured you would be, Tegan.
Just be careful where you put him.
Be
Since
careful.
one of them's dead, you don't want to link any evidence to yourself.
It's fine. It'll be gone before too long.
What, is Benny hungry?
She's a child.
She's a bear.
She's barely a child.
Barely a child.
So, I don't know if y'all remember this, but let's see. In the second time we met over at, or first or second time we met at Gazzy's, she offered to help speak to those who've been lost. I think it might be time for a bit of a seance. What do y'all think?
Huh.
I'm not sure Benny even knows what a seance is. To be
I don't think Benny does either, and I think that's why
It's
she's
a real fancy word for talking to the dead.
And that's when you realize she's not it doesn't last. It doesn't last very long. So she just she morphs back, still licking honey off her now hand.
Well, you
Dalliance.
sure you want to use her offering though on this nonsense and not the other issue?
Well, I have a feeling that they're all connected at this point. If I'm honest, there are a handful of things I want to talk to Gazzy about and see if she can find it out in the ether. But I'm coming to find that I'm questioning, why now of all times? Why would they be coming to find the bees now? Why would the earth be quaking right now? Why is this tree growing eyeballs right now?
Yeah.
I don't think you saw the eyeballs. I think only Irvin saw the eyeball.
Why is the tree looking so weird right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I feel like it's all vaguely connected in some sort of diabolical way, as if masterminded by an individual we do not comprehend. But
What's your red yarn telling you?
little fourth wall breaking there for you. But I do, I feel like. Do you really want to use your Gazzy-free seance on the bees and not your other situation? Like maybe it's connected, but don't you want to know?
And who cares if your family stole the bees? Bees don't live that long, do they? I mean, these aren't the same bees that were stolen, were they?
Well, it depends on how you phrase the question. These bees, no, they ain't been around for 100 years or so, but the hive, it's the same one. There's always been a continuous family of bees, and we've always been continuously tending to them, but y'all are kind of right. Maybe it ain't just me that's in this predicament. It's just all lining up so quick. It's got my head spinning.
You are right. There is something going on here, and let's be real. We're quite the oddball group ourselves. I mean,
I believe ragtag. It's a
many
good
can
phrase.
turn into bears. I've never seen that before, nor have I read anything about that.
That was impressive as hell.
He is building up, and as I said, I think this town is in imminent danger. I do believe everyone here will die. It sounds ominous and it sounds crazy, but I do think we're all in grave danger.
I forgot that the grave danger thing happened. Never mind.
Okay. He says it like putting his hand away from Benny.
Back at Tegan's while you're contemplating what to do with the bodies in the car and whatever. Back at Tegan's, Father, you start to accept light coming into your eyes and waking you up from a deep slumber you have not had in a long time.
I feel like I just graduated from seminary and I let Father for a child.
You can smell the alcohol on yourself and the drunkenness that you know is about you.
I thought we fixed that. Oh, I look over for the box, which is supposed to have the heart in it.
Well, the box, I think you hit it or something, right, Tegan? Yeah, so you'd have to go shuffling around the most dangerous hut in the valley, in the hollers.
Looking at everything around and understanding what parts of some of it might do.
You make me an intelligence check, please.
That I'm good at. 17 on the die.
There is over in one area, you can see that on the ground, on the floor, there is a pool of blood. Wet.
I don't touch it. I go over, I stoop down, having experience with exorcisms, dealing with the blood and kind of aging blood out. How old does this look?
It's actually fresh, and there is a line up the wall that it is dripping down from, and it seems to be coming out of some alcove that is hidden away.
Don't put your hand in there, Bartimaeus. Don't do it. As he says, as he's reaching up to put his hand into the hole.
And when you do, you feel the edge of the box, and the seams seem to be cracked open, and you feel a fleshy mound along the seam edge, and it
That's not good.
And it beats in your hand as you touch it. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. And every bump is just like a headache hammer hitting you in the back of the head.
All right, we're trying this. I take, and I'm going to. Bartimaeus is going to pull out the box.
All right. Before you can get that box out, I would like a speed check. You have to be kind of deft in this place to not set off something, make a little boom, gaseous cloud of some kind or something.
Right.
A 1?
No.
Oh.
No.
Damn.
No. That was all right. It was an all right. That was not okay. 15 on the die for it. So, yeah, 15.
So you're able to get the box out, and it is down the seams. There's blood pouring out the sides. It looks like this heart has enlarged enough that it is pushing open the edges of the boxes and warping the material around it. So even though it's made of what you would have thought would be pretty hard material, it is actually bent and made it buckle. And there is...
All right, you drunken demon. You want to play games? Let's play games. Takes it, puts it down, reaches for his exorcism box, throws open the top of it, grabs his stole, throws it on. And he is going to shake the bones to exorcise whatever demonic thing is making him drunk.
All right.
And that does... So yeah, that's 1 inspiration point, 1 intelligence point, intellect point, and 2 might and 2 intellect against the heart as he opens up his prayer book and just starts reciting prayers and tossing oil at this damned thing.
And when you start doing that, there is a perceivable shift in the light in this room. There's flickering that starts happening with the lamps in here and the light coming from the windows. And even the light dims itself. And you feel the pressure on your brain as this is happening. And then there's a creaking that happens. Sounds like it's coming from outside of wood, just like bending and buckling, like being in a hut in a storm when the wood creaks and bends under the pressure.
So he's going to reach into his exorcism kit, pull out 2 blessed silver nails and a hammer. And he is going to right smack dab center of this thing. The power of Christ compels you. Bam! And drive a silver nail into this.
All right. Your head splits wide open with pain, and the roof of Tegan's house gets torn off, and you see staring down from above you this being that looks like this. About its head is higher than the roof, and it reaches in and it grabs the box with the heart and walks away from the house. And it didn't look solid so much as edges of light glinting and glowing about it.
I am so sorry, Scott. Where did you... Oh, I was on the stream. That's why. There it is. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Which I don't think you were here to see this going up in effigy. Can you make me do you have any kind of... I'm sure you have a history or religious history kind of...
I have religion.
So can you make me a religion roll?
Nat 20, boss.
That is... of course, one of the many ways that John Barleycorn is seen and has been seen all across this country as people are fighting the prohibition and bringing about things they ought not be summoning. And when that heart lifts out of the roof, he disappears and the roof comes crashing down. Tegan, can you make me a... What would you... Okay. So your house has all kinds of dangerous stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I would... Hold on. I got to look at your character sheet for one moment.
Explosion check?
It might be that I would like a... All right. I think what I need here is a craft and ciphers and artifacts check. I'd like to see what gets knocked about by the fallen debris from the roof.
Might not go so well for you, Father.
and it might not.
It won't.
It
I have
really
backup
won't,
characters. It's
because
fine.
I rolled a nat 1.
Oh, thank
Tegan,
you.
why?
Thank you, Lord.
Experience.
Tegan, why?
I will use an experience for
Not-
that 'cause I don't want to blow up my house.
You're gonna use an
'Cause you
experience to
don't wanna blow
re-roll
your
that.
Yep, I don't want to blow up my house.
You sure you don't want to give me that GM intrusion? Like, for free?
I don't want to blow up a character that's just coming back.
Wakes up dead.
So that reroll is a 12.
All right. So the debris from the roof falls down. It collapses part of the roof, and it lands on these tables and workbenches and things like that all around you. And there is a sudden scent or smell that you are actually familiar with. It is most definitely the smell of sulfur. And then there is a lamp that sort of gets knocked over along this table. No. Can you make me a speed check to see if you can escape whatever is about to happen?
18.
All right. So can you explain to us how you escape what is Tegan's first home explosion?
God. The grace of God. The skin of his teeth.
Godspeed.
Godspeed, right. There's this moment of just, kind of leaning into that for a second. There's this moment of a voice in the back of his head that actually warns him, you need to get out. But there's 2 or 3 different voices, and they're all, you need to get out, run closer, don't run away. And just in a moment, the second that the roof lands from John Barleycorn stealing his heart back, all of the voices are just quiet except for the one that just whispers, run. And he ran.
You open the door, and as you open the door, the expected activity that you were running from definitely takes place. And in the distance, all of y'all hear this big kind of a... It's kind of in the direction that you might suspect, but you're not...
I think Tegan just takes off running. She knows what happened. She's like, shit.
I mean, you've got tree cover, so you don't really see nothing. But then, as you're running, you start to see smoke rising above the trees in the distance. And there is an explosion that blows you out the door. Father, you take 6 points of damage from the boom coming off the back, burning the back of your clothes away. And you find yourself laying in the grass at the foot of the porch of Tegan's home.
Is the ground at least cold?
Oh, yeah, it's winter. So, yeah, sure.
Oh, he just rolls over and his scorched back and just...
Back where everyone else is, you guys had started heading over to Tegan's. About halfway there is this very ominous explosion-y sound that happens in the direction you're heading. Tegan takes off running, like, immediately. And a moment later... Yeah?
Did we leave the bees in the back of the truck, or did we steal the truck?
That's a good question. What did you do with the truck? What did you do with the bees?
That is a very good question. I think I would have taken my hive back out and placed it where it was supposed to go.
Okay.
But I want to say that we broke one of the wheels or something of the...
Yeah, there was one flat.
Oh, yeah.
One flat tire. I mean, it's drivable, just not going to drive very fast.
Yeah. Y'all want to drive this over to Tegan? She might be able to fix it. It might be quicker than running with this scoundrel over my shoulder.
Oh.
Benny can't actually contribute to that. She doesn't know what the fuck is going on.
You ever seen an automobile before?
Actually, you probably could not take the car there because I don't think Tegan's has a road. I don't think there's no road to Tegan's workshop.
Where we're going, we don't need no road.
If anything, there's like horse paths and maybe cart paths, but nothing that a full-blown automobile is going to get through very easily.
Okay, then we were walking when this happened.
I think we might be running.
Yeah.
Well, now at least Tegan's running.
We're hurry upping.
And the first one that gets there is Tegan, and Tegan sees Father Bartimaeus laying out on the grass, burned on the back, and part of your roof is collapsed, and part of it looks like it both collapsed and exploded. So it went in and then out. And part of the doors and windows all blown out, glass thrown everywhere. Well, I don't know if you had glass, but maybe you did, probably on the windows. Glass thrown everywhere, the door knocked off the hinges and thrown over Father Bartimaeus out into the yard. And there is some kind of glowing going on from inside there.
Not good, very bad day. Running in. Knowing what all I have in there, is there anything that comes to mind even after the explosion that just happened that I might need to deal with so it doesn't?
Oh yeah, you have all the
worse?
stuff you use for making things like dynamite in there, and yeah, there are chemicals that under the right conditions could be quite excitable.
Because I think Tegan's first thought is this could be so much worse, and it's going to try and make it to this level of bad is the only level of bad we get today.
Yeah, there. When you get up to near the door, you can see that there is a fire on one of your workbenches that is collapsed, and the fire is kind of running up the table, so that there must have been some kind of oil or something on there that had stuck to it and blown up. But it looks like the explosion blew most of it out. All your stuff has been thrown to the edges of the home. What's not broken, that is. And there is definitely some smells coming out of there that you think potentially could be not quite healthy.
Okay, I think the first thing I'm going to do is run into the house and grab the picture of Mom and Pa and just shove it in my vest. And then just start, like, getting the things that could be the most explosive or dangerous, like, out of the house and out of the fire.
The rest of y'all come up, and what are you doing when you see, Father, you see Tegan come over, see you, and then run into the house and immediately start taking stuff out?
Oh, that's fair. It's her house, and there's things that could make this worse.
But you do see coming up, there are other people coming, though. There's Professor Hayes, there's...
I think Benny would not be far after Tegan, because Benny knew that Father Bartimaeus, even though she's not actually been over to that house yet, she knew that's... But shorter legs. Not much shorter, but shorter legs.
Kids can run fast.
She runs up to Father Bartimaeus on the ground and is like, oh my God, and like shakes him, thinking he might be asleep or passed out. Oh no. You're alive.
Fine. I'm okay. Opens an eye.
Sees her covered in blood.
And sees his back is all covered in blood and burns.
He rolled over, so it's just his front.
Oh, his front.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he just looks over and he just puts a hand up, rests it on top of her head. I have many questions, which can be answered later. Is that your blood or other people's blood?
You know, you look. Are you okay? You got blowed up.
And Walter and Professor Hayes show up right about this time, right to the side of Benny.
This is a really weird town that you brought us to.
I knew that going in.
Father, it's good to see you, and I just throw the a-hole on the ground. And
who's our guest?
Tegan, you want some help in there?
Immediately comes out with armful of explosive things.
Looks over at the professor. Who's our guest?
Oh. Just some thug coming to steal some bees. It's a long story, but for now, we need to get you away from this building.
Yes, we do.
Can you move?
I don't know. Give me a moment. And gingerly sits up. and without screaming and falling back in pain, okay, stands up the rest of the way.
How bad does this back look?
It's got some burns and some cuts all over. There's glass bits stuck in there here and there, and pieces of wood splinters and whatnot, all like they were, turned to bits and thrown into his back all at once.
Father, I think you might be in shock. I've heard about that when people go through difficult situations. Sometimes they don't respond right away.
I am familiar with it. No,
Let's just walk away.
I believe we should go. The wise woman, Gazzy Smythe. Gaz, correct?
Oh, I like her.
Look over at Walter. Correct? Gazzy Smythe.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
That reminds me. She gave me something here, and he digs a little tonic bottle out of his bag and says, "Drink this. It'll help."
Looks at it. Rough inspection to see what this thing might be.
I have no idea what it is for what it's worth. Scott,
this is to Scott. Any chance to roll for intelligence and used to dealing with paranormal and spiritual?
Do you have understanding magic?
I got using magic and seeing through deception. Can I see if he's lying to me about where he got it from?
You could check that.
Let's go for a 19.
Oh my.
It did come from Gazzy's. But there's questions around that.
And Gazzy handed this to you personally.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but
I know better than to drink strange tonics from wise women. For all I know, this could incapacitate me for a number of days. And with what I just saw, I don't believe that's something that we want to be a part of.
Suit yourself, I said, and I put it back in my jacket.
And Tegan, you go back and forth. You're pulling stuff out. There's a lot of stuff broken inside there, but there's definitely recoverable stuff. More than you would have suspected. It looked like the explosion kind of blew straight upward mostly.
Yeah, I'm just getting as much dangerous stuff as far away from the fire as I can, and then trying to deal with the fire after we're not going to die.
All right.
I'm offering Tegan as much help as she allows.
I'm probably like, grab that, but don't grab that, and maybe grab that.
You mean this one here?
Yeah, anything that looks vaguely nauseous or like it's moving, take out of the house.
Oddly, one of the boxes you take out, it looks like it has sticks of dynamite in it. Just without wicks, though, of course. They ain't been put in yet.
Oh yeah, I gotta finish that order. Dude, that should probably go the furthest away from the house.
Tegan, I think it's about time we do some spring cleaning here.
And
No, was that another explosion? Something ticked and got too close?
Yeah, that was, yeah. Sorry.
Well, you're awake, Father. You're no longer
Okay.
feeling so drunk. I mean, you definitely still feel a little.
More sober. More sober is good. Okay. Seeing all of this back and forth happening, takes a second. Moves Benny about another 5 steps back from the impending doom. Is there anything I can help grab, Tegan?
Everything that's outside the house, as far away from the house as possible, and runs back into the house.
Everybody grab a box. We don't want to blow the valley.
Tegan's the boss when we're at Tegan's.
So you all empty everything out that you can empty out. There are boxes strewn in a big semicircle around the house. Many things kind of on the other side of trees and whatnot, just in case or what have you. But you do get it emptied as much as it can be emptied. There is quite a bit of damage and things that are no longer usable, and almost nothing made of glass made it out. But you look at the roof and you're like, you could probably repair that in a few weeks.
Honestly, not the worst explosion.
Not from an explosion.
At least part of that was from an explosion, because that workbench did not explode itself.
Not the roof.
Yeah, what? I leave you in my house and tell you not to touch things, and I come back and my
I don't
roof
remember you telling me not to touch anything.
What is the one rule of the house? Don't touch
There's a
anything.
sign above the doorway that says "Do not touch."
In his defense, he was drunk.
I was drunk the entire time.
I don't
I'm
know
not
that
going to lie
that
to you.
helps, but also, like, I leave, my
I
roof
was
is
drunk
destroyed.
against my will the entire time. Like, for means outside of my control. By the way, that's not going to be an issue anymore.
Wait,
Were you still
what?
drunk when you started digging around?
Yeah, that's okay.
That's between me and
also,
God.
Why is there blood on my wall? Like,
Because the heart started bleeding.
Benny just sees this look of, like, not necessarily existential dread. Maybe someone else would see it as existential dread, but a child would see it as very calculating. Like, okay, but how do I? What? Yes, I want to do thing now.
You don't find the heart in there though, or the box.
Okay. So it was bleeding.
Yes,
So it means it breached the box.
correct.
So probably the reason we got drunk in town too, Walter, is the heart. So what destroyed that?
John Barleycorn.
Are you sure you're still not drunk?
Yeah.
The thing we burned in the town square?
The entity that was represented by the thing that you burned in the town square.
Okay, yeah, sure, why not? We've had ghosts, weird tree things, and eyes and minds. Why not? Why not a drunken barley god thingamabobber? This is just great. I love all these visitors.
Belief is a powerful thing. Enough people believe something within an area with the right kind of confluence. We talked about this before. Can make things manifest.
So the god of drinking is terrorizing Guilty Hole now?
Terrorizing is a
Absolutely.
strong... Terrorizing is currently a strong word. Would you say that... What is a good example for this? Would you say that a... Do you know what a shark is?
No.
Like
think you
the
should stick
thing
with
out of the zoo books?
Oh, good. You do read. Okay.
What's a shark? Encyclopedias?
Yes. Yeah, the very big fish from the
All the
encyclopedias. The one with all of the teeth. Big teeth. So you do know so this reference might actually work. Would you say that a shark swimming in a place plentiful full of food is terror on that ecosystem? Would a panther in a forest full of deer be a terror to the wood?
I
Not
think
the
the
deer,
deer would think
to-
so.
Irrelevant to the deer, to the wood.
I know, but I feel like we're more like the deer in this scenario.
We'll get to that. But Walter, specifically, would you call the panther at that point a terror to the wood?
About as much of a terror as a bee is to a flower.
So if something is being called and welcomed in, and it shows up, would you call that terrorizing?
Are we talking about Santa Claus now?
Not a bad analogy. Actually. As loath as I am to admit it, because Saint Nicholas has his own place within everything.
Have you ever
yes.
fought Saint Nicholas?
I think Saint Nicholas would kick Father B's ass.
Oh, hands down. Hands down.
This is wild. So, if enough people believe in something, it can just manifest. And enough people really want to drink.
There's a little bit more to it than that. As we said previously, if I remember correctly, the wood of the bleeding tree was a great conduit to make these things manifest.
And Tegan is holding her hand up
Yes.
in your class.
Now would probably be a good time to also let you in on the fact that ghosts are running amok, and also giant eyes and minds that apparently mean impending death, as far as the doc says.
Ghosts? Well. Ghosts I can deal with. I can deal with ghosts. Ghosts are my bread and butter. I can work with ghosts. What kind of flying eyes?
No, just giant eyes and minds. Just like
in the mind?
People-sized eyes in the mine. Yeah.
In the mind.
Oh yeah, in the doors, I saw it, and there was a cart, and then there was a big eye, and then I looked away, and then I looked back, and the eye was gone, and I screamed.
And I didn't tell you all this before, but when I was looking in the fire earlier, I saw a vision. As the earthquakes were happening, something like a giant worm or centipede erupted from the ground, massive in size, and wreaked havoc. That's when I knew we were doomed.
Yeah, apparently we're doomed.
Oh, so that's why you keep saying we're all gonna die.
Yeah.
We are. Yeah.
Y'all, Father, correct me if I'm wrong here. So what you're saying is, if we believe these things are going to happen, and if we believe these things continue to happen, that they're going to continue to happen?
If they're not stopped, yes.
Keegan's gonna gently put their hands over Benny's ears and be like, who the fuck is dreaming about giant worms that are gonna destroy us all? That's right.
Actually, this is a question out of character. Scott, would I be able to make a history check of some kind to see if the eyes in the mines and the ghosts are in accordance with any local legend?
Yeah, I'd give you that.
Would you like me to roll anything?
Let me look at your sheet. Probably, if you don't.
I could call to. I am trained in calling to mind minor detail or trivia.
Oh, I'll let you have with that. That'd be a good roll. Yeah. So it'd be
all right.
Intellect based.
I grabbed new dice tonight. We'll see if they do any well. 7 doesn't bode particularly well, though.
Okay, but at least it's not a 6 or a 16.
This is true. We're going 7 and 17 tonight, please.
17.
Yeah,
17.
You're not really sure. I mean, there are always rumors of things in the darkness of the mines and there have been people who've disappeared in the mines. That's not, I mean, it's not commonplace, but it's common enough that, there's some fear about going into the mines in places you ain't supposed to.
But I can recall no specific legend that says something about eyes in the mines or...
No.
Okay.
And boy, you all are so exhausted.
It was like big.
Except Father Bartimaeus, who is not exhausted.
Pain.
Just
but in pain. I think that a safe place at the moment would be one with protections from the area, which I believe would likely be Gazzy Smythe.
Could I use hedge magic on his back to at least get the like shrapnel out? Because it says
Sure.
clean a small area or change the temperature. So like kind of like pull out the
Yeah,
bits
I'd
and
let you
like
do
cool
that.
it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, look at me. I know how to do medicine. Nobody look this way.
I mean, if he lets you.
I mean, you can't walk around with glass in your back, Father. Let me at least get that out.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you.
After she's done with picking everything out and cleaning it up a bit, you get a point of a point back from it. And there's now like a greasy, gooey something covering your back to help it heal, but you ain't exactly sure what it is.
Don't ask questions. Okay.
You're not even sure
together.
Tegan really knows what it is either.
I think you might be right there, Father. Though it might be a good idea to get someplace that's got some protections of not only physical but also metaphysical, if you will.
Did you bring the woman with you too, or did you leave the woman back there pulled
I
off
hid the
road?
woman in the woods.
I only grabbed the guy.
All right. Yeah, just wanted to know.
His name was
I hid the woman in the woods.
his name Reese
Are
or
we-
Wayne.
He was Reese. She was Wayne.
Got it. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
I don't think we can bring this prisoner to Gazzy's house, though. We don't want to implicate her in the event that
Yeah.
took place.
And as you're
What
talking,
if-
you see him. His eyes are open. He's looking at y'all. He's tied up. Are y'all gonna kill me?
Oh no, we've seen our faces.
I mean, he saw our faces before when we had to.
Oh yeah.
I
Now,
don't know.
listen, your name is. I take it you're Reese.
Yeah, how do you know my name?
Let's just say I've
told
found.
us.
What?
He told us last session he was Reese.
Oh yeah, he did. That's right.
You told us that before we punched you out.
Oh, I might have got hit a little too hard, or a lot too hard.
Every bone in my body is buzzing to knock your lights out one more time, and maybe for good. But I know in my heart of hearts that that's not what my girls, my bees included, what my wife and daughter would want for me to do. And
Where's Wayne?
Just gonna cover Benny's ears again.
you see, there was a bear attack. In the whole
Blame it
ruckus,
on
there was-
Benny.
No, I blamed it on a local
I realize
bear.
this doesn't work because the headphone is inside the ear. Don't
I could blame it on
Benny.
a catamount.
She didn't make it.
Yeah, she didn't make it. An unfortunate collateral damage.
Collateral damage. What? I don't know what that means. You mean like? Oops.
You could say that in one way or another.
And you got a priest here letting you talk about murdering someone like that?
I am not your average priest.
Self-defense, because you tried to steal from us and run us over with a truck.
Pretty
Yeah,
sure
she
that's
keep
legal
forgetting.
here.
Or another.
So, murder, my child, is a very specific thing within the biblical text. Conflict to a fight doesn't ending in death depending upon the situation does not count in murder depending upon one's interpretation of the book. Try
Yeah,
me
see?
again.
We got God on our side. Now what?
I don't think Father's a regular priest, you guys.
What gave it away?
What do we
Now,
do?
to the group now, I'm saying. So, I know it's not really in the best interest of everybody here in town, and it mostly suits just my purposes. But if there's time, it may be a good idea to call upon the ethereal here in town, be it those who are still around or those that have moved beyond. To they might know more than just whose bees these rightly are.
I mean, I got a cellar that I can't guarantee is habitable now, but that we could stash him in.
His eyes go open wide at the idea of him being stashed.
Set him under the bleeding tree.
Father, does the good book say anything about intentionally leaving someone to their death?
It depends upon the iteration of the Bible. You know, if you look at the actual ancient Aramean and Hebrew, there's quite a different book. Might I have a recommendation for everybody? So, just may I have a moment with the man?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Tegan, could you please leave Bernadette away from here for a moment?
Yeah. Oh, one
Bernice.
second. And I grab something from the piles that I had rescued it and take Benny off a little ways into the woods, and I'm just like, here you go, Benny, play with these, and like hand you like what's clearly an older pair of goggles, like the first iteration of them. Have fun, kid. Don't go that way for a while.
Putting aside and flipping open the exorcism kit that he had previously, he pulls out another silver nail and the hammer. Puts those down.
What are you
Reaches
doing
it.
with that? What are you doing with that?
We'll get there. We'll get there. Don't worry, my
I'd
child.
rather not get there.
We'll get there. Don't worry, my child. He reaches in, pulls out a prayer book, brushes off the cover. What anyone who was nearby looking at would see that the cover of this book doesn't look like the kind of prayer book you'd find in one of y'all's local churches.
Oh, damn it.
There you see that it says Et Demonum Nostra on the front. Brushes it off, puts it aside, reaches in, pulls out a small reliquary of glass and gold with a set of knuckle bones inside of it, and pulls out a crucifix. And he just sits them all in between the two of them and sits right in front of this man. And I'm going to do Hear Me Now. So for 2 intellect points, I project confidence, knowledge, and charisma for all see me for the next hour. Everyone automatically sense I'm someone important, accomplished, and an authority. Strangers who are not attacking give me at least a round, is speaking to a group, blah, 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 blah. Before you, I have 2 options. You see, I am the church's hammer in situations like this, and given everything going on within Guilty Hole at the moment by Mother Church, I am in a position to do a great many things without repercussions from the wider world. I am the church's hammer. I am the thing that this church sends to make sure the things that go bump in the night stop going bump.
I'm just.
I am currently. Shut up. I am talking. I will tell you when you get a turn to speak. I'm currently in the position where, from where I am sitting, you might be directly involved within some of these inspirations, some of these going-ons. And as such, I am within my bounds as a exorcist of the church in the situations that they're in, where I have open proclivities to be able to extract information from less than amiable ways from individuals such as yourself. I would rather not do that. I have a child in which I am trying to set a good example for while the ward is still mine to do so with. I am trying to be a better man than I was when I boarded the hellish mess of sin bedecked in glory that was that god-awful jamboree.
I'm fully in support of you being a better man.
Currently, that decision is in your hands. I am giving you one opportunity to tell me everything you know, why you are following this man and what is going on, before I take this silver nail and show you just how Christ felt when he was nailed to the cross.
And he looks over your shoulder and at back of where Walter and everyone is, and I came to acquire Walter's hive.
For what purpose?
To bring it back home.
You realize that at this point, given what's going on in the current status of transport, the odds of that hive making it across the Atlantic are not very high, correct?
It made it when his pappy took it over here from there.
In a much more peaceful time period, in a time period in which the waters were not still besieged with bombs dropped by German ships. So I will.
I'm telling you.
How much is the value of this hive to you? How much is the value of this hive to you? I am trying to be a better man for my ward.
I came to take it for my family, so it's important. Our
I
hives
understand
all
that.
collapsed.
So your hive collapsed, therefore you wish to go and, at this point, steal the hive of another.
Did he tell you that his pappy stole that hive from...
Theft of theft is still theft. This man had no inspirations and no... Theft of theft is still theft. This man, Walter, he had nothing to do with that thievery. He acted within certain bounds, and he, within his own rights, and from my understanding of local family histories, and from what I have to go off of, he has rightful possession of those hives. And I'm currently the one deciding what to do with you still. Push me.
Well,
Go home.
I'll go home.
Tegan slides up and pulls out the tickets that they stole from them. Just hands them over Father's shoulder and goes back to playing with them.
I am happy that I didn't have to use the silver nails today. I hope to remain that way. If I see you skulking anywhere around town, I'll believe you have lied to me, and we'll have to revisit this conversation again. Do you understand?
I understand.
Go in peace, my child.
Could you untie my hands and feet?
Standing up, he whips out a silver-bladed knife, cuts the ropes. Be gone.
I think I'd like to have Walter step in here.
Okay. He backs away from you when you come toward.
Listen, Reese. I'm gonna take you back into town. Do y'all mind if I meet y'all at at Gazzy's?
Not at all.
Thank you, Father. I appreciate you backing me up on this.
Of course, Walter. That is what friends do for each other, is it not?
I don't own any silver nails or nothing like that, so I can't say it goes both ways, but I appreciate it all the same.
Of course.
And I'd like to kind of I feel as though Walter, even with a inability in positive social interactions, can understand when somebody is suffering to the point where they are just beyond scared. And he actually shows it. I'm reminded of my wife and my daughter, in that they are my kin, and technically speaking, Reese is, in a manner of speaking, my kin. And I actually kind of put an arm around him gently.
He looks very uncomfortable.
Good. And I start walking him back toward town, or wherever the best way to get out of town would be.
All right.
Most logical way to get out of town.
Well, are you going to walk me all the way to the train? Is that the idea?
If I'm being honest, I'd like to make a stop at my property.
All right. I'd like to go see about Owain also. I hope the father don't think I'm dilly-dallying. I just want to go gather up her clothes.
Tell you what, let's go grab her, and we indeed walk to where we pulled Owain off of the side of the road.
And as you're walking and you're heading over in that direction, he goes, "There ain't gonna be nobody. Her clothes will be there,
what?
and we're followers of the old gods. Demetos, god of mead, god of drunkenness. Her body will have gone to the god."
You telling me you sold your soul?
Sold our soul? We worship the only god that respects bees. Why would you even think you'd sell your soul? That the Catholic god or the god of these people here, these ain't the old gods. These are... But you know what? I don't want to end up with a spike in my hand, so I'm not sure I want to say any more.
Listen. You know, I want to apologize for acting the way that I did. If you are indeed my kin, if you're my second or third cousin, that makes us kin. And I don't have any more of that. And I, unfortunately, do my wife and my daughter a disservice by treating you the way that I did, you and Owain.
You didn't know us. You didn't even know what we were doing here. How else could you treat us?
Well, I didn't have to treat you like you were some punching bag, but when you're stealing my way of living and another part of my family, them are dangerous actions. I do remember the rumors and the legends and what I always thought was lies of Grandpa Arthur stealing the bees from his family and bringing them over here to the States. Now, I want you to tell me the truth, and I put a hand on his shoulder. Do you need a hive? Is your family hurting?
Is my family hurting? Our families, your other kin, we're all hurting. The hive's been collapsing over there ever since the war. Early on in the war, actually. To be honest, I have no idea if your pappy stole them or not. It was a rumor we heard too. I don't know. But we heard it, and we felt we ought to go remedy this concern. And me and Owain decided that we would make the trip and we would do it. We've been trying to find where you were for years now. It's taken us a long time to find this hole in a holler.
Well, I dare say it's if I'm doing my job right, it should be hard to find me. But listen, let's take a walk. Let's grab Owain's things and take a walk back to my property. I want to show you something.
And you get back to where Owain's body would be, and there is actually her clothes are there, but there are thousands of bees instead of a body there.
Well, I guess you weren't kidding.
If you get rid of the priest, you could follow the old ways and you'd be able to become one again in time. And he goes to gather up the clothes, and the bees just kind of fall out and start swarming like bees looking for a new place, looking for a new hive.
Can I guess if Reese doesn't, if he doesn't take an action, can I take an action to influence that swarm?
Yeah, you can.
I'd like them to follow us.
All right. Why you making the bees follow us? He knows what you're doing, by the way, when you do it.
Mm-hmm.
He knows the words. He knows the actions.
I've got an idea. Come on, let's go back to the hive.
The house is right over there. You get there.
So, do you? This would be a stupid question for him, but you know what royal jelly is, right?
Of course.
You know how important it is to a hive for selecting a new queen, right?
Yep.
I want to give you some from my hive.
That'd be
I want you to take a piece of this hive. I want you to take the swarm from Owain, and I want you to take them home and start a new one. I think that's what my kin would want me to do.
I don't think the hive. I don't think they'll survive that trip. I was hoping to just get the queen, but I knew I didn't have time to find the queen in the time that we had, so we just took the whole hive. I mean, it's a long journey, but I would appreciate the royal jelly that from this hive in particular might be what allows the next one to make it through.
If there's a will, there's a way.
he puts his hand out. I want to thank you for not letting that priest do that to me and taking a moment to talk so we could find out about these things. You know, I apologize. I was definitely out here and out to steal that hive.
Well, you know, I'd be doing, like I said, I'd be doing a disservice to my kin and to our clan, for that matter, by continuing the actions of my grandfather.
Well, as much as I'd like to stay and talk about bees and drink mead, I would really rather not have your man of the cloth on my tail.
I don't blame you one bit. I do have one more thing I'd like to ask you real quick, though. A request, if you will.
Okay.
Can I take something, a possession of Owain's? I think I'd like to make a grave for her here at the house.
Yeah, and he goes through her clothes and he goes, here, take this. And he takes off. There was a brooch of a bee, a small one up on the lapel. That is, that's been hers since she was a child.
And I go ahead and I lay it over with the gravestones for my wife and daughter. I think it's about time that I pay a little more homage to our kin.
You ought to come back and visit Wales again.
I don't know if I'll
For the
make
first
it at
time
this
for you,
age.
I imagine.
You'd be right. I don't know if I'll make it over being as old as I am, but who knows? Maybe I'll have nothing. Maybe I'll see it one day.
Well, I'm going to go catch a train.
Best of luck to you, Reese.
Thank you. And he takes his jar with the jelly and starts heading over the hill. Back at the other house, you guys all gather up whatever you're going to gather up. Head to Gazzy's. Are you doing anything in between that house and Gazzy's?
I'm gonna make sure all the really dangerous stuff is properly stored before we leave, because I don't need to come back to another explosion.
It's not properly stored. It's out of doors.
I mean, properly stored by Tegan's standards.
Yeah, some of you bury in a few places or whatever, but yeah, you make it as safe as it can be.
Okay. Now, Benny, remember, you drop the second one if you need to see things far away up close, but you drop the third one if you need to see up close things even closer. And then I'm just going to use that to distract her as we kind of like go towards Cassie's.
It's also really funny that I'm using my own glasses because I'm so blind.
So you take care of that. Are you doing anything between there and Gazzy's, or are you going to just go to Gazzy's?
Probably just go to Gazzy's. I am gonna, if possible, navigate us around town though, since last time we tried to go through town, Walter and I got drunk.
All right.
So I'm gonna try to like maneuver us around town so we don't get hit by that again.
Oops, ended up at TJ's again.
So to do that, you got to cross over the train bridge. That's the instead of the regular bridge. That's actually closer to you than the other bridge, but it's a little it's kind of high up over that stream, over that creek, and it's kind of spooky if you ain't used to it. But y'all are tough. Benny, how do you handle heights and scary things where you can look through the wood and see a place you could fall through to your death?
I think Benny's probably fine with.
All right.
Because, she's lived in, or, she stayed in like dilapidated, broken down buildings and,
Yeah, that's true.
just children's curiosity climbed some things, and she's probably fallen through a broken piece of wood or two.
Yeah, all right. So you go over the bridge, you pass what Walter and Tegan and, well, even Professor Hayes by now probably knows that just a little east of where you're at is the old cemetery. That's where a lot of trouble during the Howling 2 years ago happened. A lot of teens lost their lives over there. Whew. Bloody mess. And then you get at the end of the fields, you get to the woods, and there's a horse just
I think
huffing at the edge of the woods when you get through it. You think what?
while we're walking, because Penny at this point is very, very tired. I think while we're walking, she goes, "Oh, for as much as we had to pay for that room, we aren't getting to use it very much."
Come on, child. Bartimaeus just leans down and scoops her up. Come on.
Will the church reimburse me for what we paid?
You didn't pay anything. First things first.
I did too. I did. My 64 cents. I had to give it to the professor.
Side eyes over at the professor.
A small tithe. It was a matter of respect. I'm sure you understand,
that is going
Father.
to be returned properly and promptly.
First of all, I'm
3
pretty sure it
episodes set
was
up for this.
63 cents, not 64.
Consider this a lesson. Consider this a lesson. Strange men don't trust what they say. They usually try to take you out of money or time. This one seemed to try to grab both out of you.
Oh. And thus the 3-episode payoff. That's how- Anyway,
And
horse.
you get through the woods, Father. You have Benny up in your arms or over your shoulder, or however you're carrying her. And there's a horse that is just stamping and just looks ferocious for a horse. And
Now,
then it sees
Shadow,
all
you
y'all.
stop that right now.
Yeah,
You stop that.
Tegan speaks to it and pets its nose, and it calms down right down. And the other horse that comes running up comes up more jauntily and comes in for its pet. And
Yeah, here's some sugar. Don't tell Gazzy.
you all are coming in from the backside of Gazzy's house, not the front. And you see that there is the door is open, and Gazzy is sitting on the porch, kind of bundled up and enjoying some cool air. And she looks like she's fallen asleep on the porch with a big blanket and a little pot with a little fire in it.